We're not venturing around there. That is now called the Point. When we used to go and hang around that area, it used to be called the Mikado. That was back in the 90s. But we're gonna traverse our way down International Drive. Good morning guys, hope this video finds you well. Today we're out on a bit of a stroll down International Drive, a bit of a central point in the Orlando area with the likes of fun spots, etc. Loads of your eateries, your chain restaurants, some stores. There is, it used to be called the Belts, I think it's just called Premium Outlets now. There's two shopping areas. You've got the Vineland Premium Outlets and this one, which we've always pretty much called the Belts area. At the top end, there used to be an area called Festival Bay. And we're just gonna have a general walk around, look, see what's happening. It's a day away from the parks. We are in the Magic Kingdom tonight for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. So it should be just a good little tour for anyone who enjoys this area, just likes looking around it. So come and join us. Where we live in Milton Keynes, in the middle of the shopping centre, it's got an upside down house, but it's nothing in comparison to that. The Wonderworks. I mean, it's a bit more like a Ripley's Believe It or Not, to be honest with you, but that is absolutely enormous. Indoor skydiving, if anyone's interested. It doesn't actually look open. It might have even have closed down. Certainly not a beehive of activity, that's for sure. Across the road there, that is a Rosen Inn. That's one of the sister hotels of where we're staying. The only difference is we are Lake Buena Vista, so as is Palm Parkway. There's two along International Drive. Ice bar. They basically put a jacket on you. You sit there with your glass, which is made out of ice, and have your alcoholic beverage. This is one of your chain restaurants. This is a Miller's, famously known Miller's Ale House. We have one of those around the corner from where we're staying as well. Usually it's got, you have your food and you've just got a mass of sports screens of everything that's going on in the area. Yet to attempt it, but one day, I don't know what that day will be, but I will go up in a helicopter at some point. Just something I've always fancied doing. They're not overly pricey, to be honest with you. The best thing to do is do it in a group or tag along with another group, and you keep the prices down. And they do several different tours. Some go down to Downtown Disney, some go over your resorts, some will go around Epcot, Universal, SeaWorld, etc. Walgreens, instead it's one of your smaller supermarkets. They do have larger versions, and obviously Walmart is enormous. Fridays, obviously we've got that back home, formerly TGI Fridays. They've actually still got the TGI on top of it. I haven't seen that in years. Over here, size is everything. Everything's so grand, and it's not just a dull building. I suppose they're competing for tourist dollars, so they try to make them stand out as much as possible. Never actually had a Bahama Breeze. I know quite a few people rate it. But look at that. Like a tropical oasis. Yep, so Bahama Breeze, a restaurant that actually looks like a resort. If you're into your bars, this is one of your more swanky ones, Howl at the Moon. There are a plethora of them out here. and then the world famous Hooters. So any of you into, is it ornithology, the studying of birds, that's where you want to go. Obviously we know it isn't. And they just keep coming fast. Look at them, restaurant after restaurant. Got a Denny's there at the corner, and here is Senor Frogs. Just so colourful. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that liquor is not what you have on your pie and mash, but it is in fact an alcohol store. What a great name for a restaurant, Mia's Italian Kitchen. Although my name was not Italian, that is my nan's name. Boston Lobster Feast. When you see these signs that say Spirit of Halloween, they're like pop-up stores. It might be an old restaurant, shop, etc. that the area's closed down, and seasonally these Spirit of Halloween would go in there, and they have tons and tons of merchandise, clothing, costumes, etc. for the holiday season. Weather-wise today, as I look up, pan up to the sky, that's Florida for you, typical Florida. It's actually, we're in a cool period, so it's not muggy, it's not sticky. Not that it's going to stay that way. It will be, in the next couple of days, the temperature will be rising. We may have a chance of rain. If I get the chance to obviously capture it, I certainly will do, and that'll be a storm, because I absolutely love a lightning storm over here. They are so spectacular. So picturesque. One of your many Crazy Golf. We have one of these, Lake Buena Vista area. Used to be adjacent to the old Goodings, which was a really weird supermarket. It was a supermarket that had a carpeted floor, and one of these was around the back of it. Far superior to anything we've got back home. The theming is just brilliant. You have these water areas, and you have sharks swimming around there. Not real sharks obviously, but really, really cool. In the background over there, many of you have heard of the London Eye. That is the Orlando Eye. Great views of the area. And there's a couple of loons up there. Oh, yeah, bungees, no chance. I think it's one of these things you pay, I don't know what the price, might be around $25 or $30, and you get a t-shirt for doing it as well. But you can keep your t-shirt and you can keep your ride. I'm not doing it, never, not in a million years. You can hire out your little electric trikes out here, your scooters, but I don't know, it's one of these things like back home, you look at the pavement and you think it's got to have a raised pavement, the heat and the light of the day, a bit of glare in your eyes, you hit that full pelt, you're over the bars, and this will remove your skin to the bone. It's so hot, the temperature out here of the concrete. This is your front driveway up to your Icon Park and the big wheel itself. There is a Sea Life Centre below that as well, and a Madame Tussauds in the area. If you wanted something slightly different, local sheriff's department there. Right next to a Buffalo Wings now. Now they have a challenge, I believe it's 3 wings in 6 minutes possibly. I never done it. I got the wings, put them in my mouth. I think it was mango jalapeno flavour. Went to take one bite and my mouth just seized up. I could not get any food or anything in there, and just having a drink afterwards, a cold drink, made it worse. So if you're into your foodie challenges, that's certainly one to give a go. There are restaurant chains on the left hand side of the road, but as is the way with the theme parks out here, Americans drive on the right. So as you're going into International Drive, is what we're doing, majority of your stuff is going to be here on your right hand side. As you get further into the middle, it's a bit all over the place. You look left, right, in front of you, behind you, everything is everywhere. If you want to see a shrunken head perhaps, or a two-headed goat, or something weird or bizarre such as that, Ripley's, believe it or not, is where you're going to find it. Used to have one in London, of course. I do love a truck. If you are into your meat, your steaks, I don't think you're going to find much better than a Longhorns. There's one by the Vineland Premium Outlets that we frequent quite often, but I find the steak is so tender you can actually cut it with a spoon if needs be. There is some sort of contention of who is the best. You get those turning around and saying, oh, they prefer Outback, which is Outback Steakhouse, or something like Manny's Chop House. But I think it comes down to a personal choice. But us is definitely Longhorns. Red Robin, another burger chain. There's so many different varieties out here. This is simply where I love it, where you start to see all your billboards. It's just, it's incredible. You see a helicopter, that's probably a helicopter tour coming in. Aftermarket Disney gifts. This will not be official merchandise. Cold Stone Creamery, one of those at City Walk. That's probably one of your best ice creams. Well, they mix it up in front of you. They just put like a load of ice cream, a load of fruit, just put it on a cold slab, chop it up, mix it up, put it in a cone, and voila, you have a tasty treat. The escape game, I dare say it's escape room, something different to do in the evening. Mexican food. There's more sort of Tex-Mex out here, to be honest with you. BJ's Brewhouse Restaurant. And that is our spot for breakfast right over there, our favourite of all of them, Perkins. Very similar to a Denny's stroke IHOP, it's just that little bit upper level. Coming up to the junction with Sand Lake Road. If my memory serves me right, if that is the McDonald's in question, that at one point was the largest McDonald's in the world. Over 4 floors. Your very traditional characters in there. Just look at the size of these intersections. They are huge. Hulk Hogan's Wrestling Shack, or shop should I say. And yes, he does frequent that. Probably not today, but quite often you will find him, you find his vehicle parked out the front, and he will be in there saying hello to fans. Pretty cool. There is a small World of Disney store on the bottom of that car park over there, next to, as I said, what was, or maybe it still is, the world's largest McDonald's. Burger King is getting some new signage. You see the old one's faded pretty badly up there. We have a change in our breakfast order now. We just had a Perkins. It was alright, tasty, but they messed up a bit on the order. Rachel's mug, when it turned up, had lipstick all over it, so that wasn't too clever. We had to wait while people coming after us were served and had eaten, had gone. So yeah, now Denny's tops the list, followed by IHOP, with Perkins, which was our all-time favourite in the past, dropping down the 3rd spot. There's another one of your breakfast places, the International House of Pancake, aka IHOP. We're getting up to the fun spot now. This is pretty much what I would always describe as being Central International Drive. Taco Bell over there. It's actually really quiet today. It's not bustling with traffic. Usually this could be absolutely heaving. It is a Tuesday morning. You can see the Universal hotels of Cabana Bay there in the distance. I believe that would have been the spot, or that sort of area is where Wet n Wild was. We only ever went to Wet n Wild the once, and that's because the time we went there was when the events of 9/11 happened. We got up the morning, obviously the precursor to what was going on happened with the 2 planes at the Twin Towers. We had already made plans to go to the water park. We was there and we got evacuated from there around 11:30 in the morning as a IHOP bus goes past. Not an IHOP, iRide. So yeah, we was evacuated from there when the plane started. Sort of, we was told they're heading towards Disney World and Camp David, etc. So we were evacuated from there because of them events. It was too hard to ever go back because of the memories. Fairvilla's Sexy Things. Does he mean me? I'm kind of sexy. We will not be frequenting that store. I don't think it's really suitable for a family channel. We have various gift shops, little takeouts. There's a Dunkin' Donuts over there. America starts or runs on Dunkin', as they say. They're all very much the muchness, to be honest with you. You've got Dunkin's, you've got Voodoo Donuts, you've got Krispy Kreme. There's tons and tons of them, all different varieties, different franchises. There's even an Indian over there. Coco Key Water Resort, I believe that's popular with the Brits over there. And here to this side we have Cece's Pizza.
I'm sure that was shown.
And whatever Sugar Planet is. Obviously some sort of candy. I can see gummy bears and ice creams. Is that Chuck E. Cheese there? Yep, that's Chuck E. Cheese. Over to your left over there you have the Titanic exhibition experience. They've got a few relics, but to be honest with you, nowadays with the Titanic, who hasn't got a few relics? They seem to pop up everywhere. There's probably more stuff in museums now than there is actually probably down below on the wreck itself. It's that quiet today, you can actually hear the birds chirping. That is a small bargain world, that's for sure. They've got some proper big ones around. The area of the 192, you get the 2 wizard ones. Here comes another iRide trolley. Pretty much a bus that goes all the way up and down this road. It will take you as far as the Vineland Outlets, which is across the road from where we're actually staying in Hotel Park, well, Palm Parkway, Hotel Plaza Boulevard at the back of us. It'll go down as far as the tip of that. They circle around the Vineland Premium Outlet shopping mall, and then he'll come back and he'll go to the mall at the top here as well. I don't know whether this is still called the same. It used to be called Magical Midway, but whether it is or not, there's a fantastic go-karting track that's on about 3 or 4 different levels. More busy obviously in your evenings than it is during the daytime. And Rachel was turning around and saying that there, the Enclave, that was the very first hotel that Rachel ever stayed in when she come out here in '95. Many years ago, Rach.
That was a long time ago, yes.
Next down from your hotels you have, which is synonymous with America, is your motels. It's called an Econo Lodge, but it's basically a motel. If there's one called Bates Motel, you don't stay in it. My God, I'm actually shocked. It's run down, closed up. This was always a bustling area of entertainment. Maybe took too much to maybe repair some of the ramps, but the whole area's gone. How bizarre. Never expected that for one moment, because it was always busy. There is another one down at Old Town. We're going to Old Town in a couple of days' time, because there's they do 2 car events. There's a muscle car cruise and more of a classic car, the sort of cars you get in the likes of Greece, which are on a Saturday night. So this Saturday night we're going to venture there. Would have once been a beautiful sign saying "Welcome to the City Beautiful," with like a little fountain motif on it. Gator Golf. And here we have some friendly American alligators. So cool seeing them. And they outnumber the residents in Florida. I think it's somewhere in the region of 5 to 1. Not quite Bruce the shark from Jaws over there, but pretty cool. The Avanti Palms Resort over there, and in the distance you see that rock area with the smoke coming out. That is Universal's Volcano Bay, the water park. This area changes time and time again, but it still never really reaches its potential. Over here you've got the gift store with the alien spaceship above it. Next to that, back when I first started coming here, that was a place called Sports Dominator, and you used to get, was it the basketball player or was it the football player? It was either the Brazilian football player Ronaldo that used to stand outside that, or it was, could it have been Jordan with a basketball? But now it says Roboland, and I even think that's defunct now as well. Brazilian Steakhouse. There used to be a good one years ago at Lake Buena Vista called the Knife. When that whole area closed down, it lost it, so this would be an equivalent place that you could go to. They usually have great big half sides of beef hanging up there that they would cut the steaks from, and the ribs, etc. Westgate Palace there in the distance. This looks relatively new, or it probably is to us because we haven't been here in such a way. I love that truck, big old GMC down there. So this is basically an arcade, stroke bar, stroke restaurant. Yet another gift store. Actually, I reckon it's either new and not yet opened, or it's had some renovation work done to it. Applebee's, that is pretty much like an American version of a Harvester, I believe. We've eaten in there before. I had these lovely chicken tacos a couple of years back, really tasty. I had some form of cocktail which had a little gummy shark in it, and it blew me head off. An Italian buffet. Obviously for Italian for ourselves we prefer the Olive Garden, which we do have adjacent to where we are staying. And you've seen all these smoke shops. They will have obviously tobacco, but they'll also have your oh, what are they called? Those of you who like to vape. Yeah, a few of these. You don't see a lot of them about around here now. These like little ice cream kiosks where you get a soft serve ice cream. Makes us think that we still haven't really gone into the ice creams this holiday. We have a Waffle House coming up, kind of alternative to a pancake house. I don't know, some people prefer waffles to pancakes, especially your Mickey waffles. There's your Adventura Hotel there in the distance. People can probably see us walking from that rooftop bar. We are now standing on what was once Wet and Wild property. It's now one of your Universal hotels. There's these little plinths as you come along here that depict some of your movies. So you got a Raptor Garden, the Garden of Amity. Now what could reside here? Obviously my favourite movie of all time. You're going to need a bigger boat. Chief Martin Brody is of course Jaws. You have a Black Angus steakhouse, spit my own words out. Black Angus Steakhouse is a really lovely looking one, just between, well, next to the Denny's and behind the Olive Garden where we're staying. I've never tried it. I really think I should do because it looks great. Obviously a Shrek Garden. See, these are little areas you can just sort of come out, sit, have a drink, chill out. Nothing more than that, to be honest with you. But it's all just on the perimeter of these hotels. It is a lovely looking hotel for sure, but I bet it's bumped the old price up. Notoriously or synonymously in the past, your hotels on International Drive were your cheaper option if you wanted to stay in the area. But I guess times change. We're now coming up to Universal Boulevard, so if you took a left, go over the top of the I-4 and then you take an immediate right, that will bring you to Universal Studios and Island of Adventures. Before we discovered the use of Uber, it was always a Mears taxi, which is like a metered cab that we would use. At one point that was a Sheraton hotel. I think it's been taken over by Universal now. I'm not 100% sure. It's always had the globe sitting on top of it. Okay, it's now called a Four Points Hotel by the looks of it. Rita's is new, or is new to me anyway. Got a Red Lobster coming up here, just past the 7-Eleven. I can't remember, was it Red Lobster or was it Boston Lobster? I think it might have been Red Lobster. It's like a car and you had a huge lobster sitting on top of it that would drive around. Probably something that belongs to yesteryear, that sort of era. You'd have the Shamu Volkswagen Beetle. Amongst other things, there was a shark vehicle that went round. There was a big wiener truck that went round. It was a great big sausage in a bun driving around all over the place. Congo River, another franchise of your Adventure Golf. Next to a Denny's. Some more of your, as I said, these are more motels. An inn over here is more a motel than a hotel. Don't get me wrong, they're comfortable and relaxing. I've just noticed as I look over there and see the Volcano Hot Pot and Barbecue, the area used to be frequented. We've seen one Olive Garden just as we arrived, but it used to be full of the likes of your Ming Court. Is that something that's fallen by the wayside? I know they didn't have particularly good reviews. I know up here, I think it's further on from me, you've got the Mall of Millennia, and you've got a PF Chang's there, which is more of a top-notch sort of Chinese, but you are paying the price for it. You know why things can sometimes confuse you? There's a fun spot over there. Now, is that Medway, or is Medway the other one? The one that we see that was run down? Be interesting to know your views on that. Another one of your helicopter tour spots. I want a big chunky helicopter if I'm going up in it, not one of these little ones that look so fragile. I want to go up on Blue Thunder or something like that. I'm kind of wondering, you know, I said earlier about the what was Sports Dominator, is that the statue that was outside it? I believe it is. So it's found a new location up here by the Belts area, or the International Live Premium Outlets, because that's definitely it. I'm sure of it. Sonic's, that is not the Hedgehog, that is another fast food joint over there. Coming past some, what I would say is possibly a church. And the mobile there. I've certainly heard of Hash House A Go-Go, but I've never been in one. Now that is one right there. What it is, don't know. Haven't got a clue. Is it like barbecue? It's got a farmer's tractor on it, so it's world famous for chicken and waffles. And what is Twisted Farm Food? Polo, I believe that means chicken. So it's tropical chicken. We have reached a place called Dieselland, which is like a, as it says there, it's an auto museum. It's got your cars of the Hollywood blockbuster movies in there. But I remember this many years ago as Festival Bay. It had the flags around the front of it, had fountains going through it, waterfalls, etc. You had Outdoor World, which I believe could still actually be there, but Outdoor World was a huge store, had all your camping facilities. Yeah, I think it's still there. I can still see the speedboats outside. So you would get able to get ATVs, guns, crossbows, fishing equipment, etc. And in there you had I think it was called Steppler's, was a Western store, and the store that we used to frequent a lot in there was a store called Stephen Barry's University Sportswear, and it would serve all the universities and colleges with their outfits, and everything in there I believe was $8.95, so you could pick up some real bargains that you would not get back home. From there on, that all closed down and it became like an artisan market, and then since then it's become Dieselland. We'll not be visiting there today, but our destination lies over there, the premium outlets. And I'll end this vlog now because we're pretty much knackered. We need a drink, we need to sit down. We've been walking pretty much virtually the full length of International Drive of the tourist area, to be honest with you. And we'll see if we can find any bargains over there. Anyway guys, I hope it's been enjoyable for you. It's showing you what's on International Drive. That's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. I've enjoyed it. It's been hard work on the legs. My sweat is sweating again. Temperature is probably about 82, 83 degrees, but we do not at the moment have that intense humidity. It's been in a cool down for maybe 2 or 3 days, then the humidity is going to pump right up again, so we wouldn't be able to do it then. But we brought it to you. It's something I've done. I won't have to do it for probably best part of half a decade again. And with that guys, thank you so much for watching, really appreciate it, the views, the likes, the comments, etc. And we will see you in the movies. Bye for now.